Imagine being in a horrible accident and being told there is a 1% chance that you would be able to keep your leg and walk again. This is what happened to Amberly Lago. She is our guest today, and we are so excited to have her here. We first saw her speak at BookThinkers in 2026. We are blown away by her story of resilience, of grace, of gratitude. This woman has survived the most horrendous accident. She survived sexual abuse. She has been to hell and back multiple times, and the pain she has endured in her life is just beyond the scale. She's truly an inspiration because she is a woman who has survived so much in this life, but still carries herself with such brightness, such love, such grace, and inspiration. She has written 2 best-selling books, True Grit and Grace, and her second book, Joy Through the Journey. These 2 books we could not put down. We read them actually back to back. I highly recommend them. Her story brings a certain reality check of how resilient our souls can be, how we can face such immense trauma, challenge, and heartache in our lives and still come out brighter, stronger, and with gratitude. We are so pleased to welcome Amberly Lago.
3, 2, 1. Lights on!
Welcome, Amberly.
Welcome, Emily.
Yes, Delights on podcast. We are so grateful.
I'm so grateful for both of you. Thank you so much for having me on. And you are both just such bright lights. And it doesn't matter if it's through an email, in person, or seeing you on social media. So I just appreciate you. And it's no wonder everybody just loves to listen to your show and be in your energy. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. You blew us away. I mean, when we saw you speak at BookThinkers in Boston just a few weeks ago, first of all, you had us at the Running Man, MC Hammer. You caught up and stayed. Yes, we love that because people that are alive and lit up and know how to light other people up, that's what we look for. And as soon as we saw you, we looked at each other. We're like, we have to have you on.
Thank you. And I have to tell you something funny. So years ago, I used to have a speaker agent for a little while, and I love to dance. It embarrasses my kids, but I love to dance. And she told me, she was like, Amberly, do not dance ever on stage. It is not professional. And I was just like, I don't plan it and I can't help myself. It just comes out because I'm so excited to be there. And, I mean, I don't think I danced when I spoke in front of all of the captains, lieutenants, and commanders of the fire department in California. There was like 300 of, these men with mullet cuts, tattoos, and handlebar mustaches. I don't think I did the Running Man in front of them, but
They probably would have loved it.
Maybe I should have. They needed to liven up a little bit.
They do. People love to see other people lit up, whether it's through dance or through music or through whatever their thing is. So I just love that you spread that light into the world. And then, of course, we heard your story that you spoke about, and it just blew us away. I mean, you are the embodiment of beauty, inner beauty, outer beauty, and just transforming all the crazy stuff you went through into this incredible story for the soul.
Well, thank you. Can I just hang out with y'all all day? I'll just
please, anytime.
We'd love to.
Yeah, we read both of your books. Incredible.
Phenomenal, by the way.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you
it's like
so much.
Story.
I'm curious, and I've never asked anyone this before, but which book did you like best, True Grit and Grace or Joy Through the Journey?
I can't choose because I feel like they are a facet of your journey. Yes. I would recommend everyone read both because
thank you.
It's all the pieces, the intensity of what you went through, and then how you transformed it and how you are able to simplify it for someone to apply it to their own, struggles. So, congratulations on 5.5 years sobriety too. Just saw your post about it.
Oh,
That's incredible.
thank you. Yeah, actually, It was 5 years yesterday. Yesterday was actually
5 years.
my sober birthday, and I think you got the 5.5 because I did have 5.5 years, and I went out for a day, and by the grace of God, got back in. And so yesterday was 5 days, and my husband loves to give me a hard time about that. He used to say stuff like, "Oh, you just wait till people find out." And I'm like, "Honey, I write about it in my books. I
Right.
talk about it. It's like I have nothing to hide." Like, you know what I
I
mean? And
love
so
that about you. Yeah.
he's
You are
he
so honest.
well, I think that when we get radically honest is and also when you own your story, that's when you can accept where you are and really get clarity on which steps you need to take next. But also, so it gives you that direction, but it also connects you to the people that you're supposed to be connected with. But thank you for answering about the books. The reason I ask is because it is vulnerable to write a book, especially a memoir meant to inspire, and then a self help book when I'm not a guru, but I just share my experience and how I got through pain, grief, disappointment, failure, falling flat on my face. But they're both a little different, but at the same time, I felt that tug of vulnerability as I pushed send to my publisher to have it published. And so I was just curious. It took me 2 years to write the first one because I did it through a different publisher and there was no like set publishing date. It was like it was up to me to finish it. But with the second book, it took a shorter amount of time because I had them on me like, this is your due date. It has to be done, you know. And so
Right.
I got it done a lot faster. And there were things that I wish I wanted to add in, but there was just
Mm.
no time. So of course I'm like, I'm not going to ever, write another book. And I've already thought,
I was just
well,
gonna
and
ask.
at right after each both books published, they're like, okay, when's the next one? And I'm like, no
Mm-hmm.
way, not going to do it. And now I'm already thinking of like, I would love to do like a daily reflection type book
Mm. Yes.
or a gratitude journal that is an actual book instead of just a free download that you print out. So I don't
Love
know.
it.
Maybe that'll be next. We'll see.
I love that about you too, about the gratitude journaling. I also write every day, first thing in the morning and before I go to bed, and maybe in between if I need it, because it just completely shifts the mindset from
It really
any negative
does.
state to gratitude. It definitely moved the needle.
Yeah. And I love how you talk about gratitude as an alchemy in a way. And you see this light radiating from you. And I'm just wondering what makes you light up and how do you stay lit up all the time?
Oh, thank you. I love that question. And I think it's an important question to ask yourself with everything that you do in life, whether it's the people that you hang around or it's your business. And that's one of the things that I ask my clients is, I have a client, she's like, well, I'm not sure what I want to do. If I want to do more consulting or if it's coaching clients or if it's speaking. And I'm like, well, what lights you up? And I feel like joy is light. So, what brings you joy? And so, for me, that was a question I really had to pause and ask myself when I was writing Joy Through the Journey, because I thought, I can't write a book about joy if I'm not sparking that light and that joy myself. So, it really was a good chance for me to take a look again. And I think it's important to look often at your life and your vision. And are you moving towards that vision or further away? And so, what lights me up truly is having time to myself and being connected and grounded. And I do that with prayer, with gratitude, with just quiet time, a walk. I love to go on gratitude walks. Getting a cute fur baby puppy. I have the cutest dog in the world. She's like my little shadow. She's actually right here below me. She knows that she's supposed to be quiet while I'm recording, so let's hope she does. But going for walks with her and being in the moment and paying attention to your surroundings. And it's a good test to know if I'm not grounded or something's going on and I'm not lit up, if I'm upset with her on a walk when she's just a dog being a dog, you know? I'm like, what's going on if I am not enjoying this moment right now? And so I think being focused on, going out, not being glued to my phone, but being in nature, feeling the sunlight on my face. What lights me up is being with the people that I love and getting to do the things that I love. What lights me up is truly being of service. The best part of writing my book, of even, being on stages, that's great, but that's not the best part. The best part is the connection. Connection lights me up. Connecting with y'all, just being able to come from that event and have two new friends in my life, that lights me up. I feel like dancing lights me up. But mostly, I think more than anything, it's the connection to the people who you love, and you can feel their energy. I think, I don't know if you remember on stage, I talk about energy vampires
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You
and
wanted
doggy
some that too.
downers, the people
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
you're
We
like,
looked at each
yeah, I
other.
think
Yeah.
I have some of those in my life. And so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
we
we
all
vibe
do.
with
And it's important
everything.
to notice that and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love that you mentioned that because it seems like it's becoming more common to speak about. It's been our challenge
Yeah.
to how to navigate energy vampires when they're so close in proximity, how you navigate that and how you navigate oppositional characters when you're on the path of healing and spirituality and your calling. It's like all the characters come out from behind the curtain. It's like dun dun dun, and here comes the the circus.
Yes, it's so true. And in every stage of your life where you're recovering, or whether, you're leveling up your business or your life, different opposition comes, different people come into your life. And I'll never forget. So I had just gotten out of the hospital, and I had a hospital bed set up in my living room. And I was a mess. I was still bedridden, still using a bedpan, weak. Just, I had lost like 20 pounds that I didn't need to lose. So I looked like I was like coming out of a war. And I remember my front door was like a revolving door. I mean, I just feel grateful that I had so many people coming to see me, but I was so exhausted, and I was fighting every day just to get better and just to get stronger. And I remember I had this one client that came to see me, and she looked at me and she goes, "Well, must be nice to get to sit here and have people wait on you hand and foot." And I just burst into tears. And I thought, you think this is nice? I'd get anything to get out of this bed. And this was actually, it got me to thinking, why did it trigger me so much? And this person, actually, I remember working with them. And one day, actually, the thing that came out of her mouth was, she said, "Wow, I really sucked every bit of energy out of you today." And I was like,
Oh boy.
wow, I thought maybe she didn't know that she did that, but she actually intended on
Yeah.
doing that. That was the last time I had her to my house, and I did not work with her anymore. I was like, because when you're healing and it takes so much energy, and you're in a vulnerable state, you certainly don't need those people around you. And it's especially hard if, I don't know about y'all, but I'm an overcoming people pleaser. And my husband is not whatsoever. And everything's black or white, and he can cut people out like in a heartbeat. And he will tell me, I'll be on my phone going, "Oh my goodness, this person just left me another 10-minute voice memo." And he's like, "Amberly, stop, stop. They are sucking the life out of you. Who is this person? Do you even know this person?" He's like, "Just don't answer." And I'm like, "Whoa, okay, mister." And so for him, it's easy, but sometimes it is hard to navigate. And so what helps me is, first of all, I pay attention and I'm aware of how do I feel after even a text message? I don't even have to be in person with them, but when I see their name pop up on my phone, or that I see their email come through, or I see, a 10-minute voice memo, which I kind of pay attention to, how does that make me feel? Does it drain me, or does it energize me? Does it excite me? Does it light me up? Or do I have dread? And so I sometimes, being the overcoming people pleaser that I am, I will have to think about, well, somebody that I really, really admire and aspire to have the level of uh, a success, or what they've created, or the person that they are, I really admire them. I think, well, what would that person do in this situation? And that kind of helps me if I struggle myself making a decision on whether or not I'm going to work with somebody, or I'm going to respond to them, or I'm going to go have coffee with them, or going to enroll in their program, or they're going to let them enroll in my inner circle. I kind of ask that sometimes, and that seems to help a little bit. I don't know if that's wrong or right, but it seems to help me.
Love it.
We love your motto too, the bless them and block them.
Yeah,
It's so
totally.
good.
It's true.
Yeah.
Thank you, because sometimes I'm just like, what am I doing watching this, or why am I following this person? And
Right.
maybe it's not necessarily anything they've done, but it's put you in comparison mode, or just doesn't make you feel good. Then yes, I say bless them and block them. And I think the first time I ever heard that phrase was from my girlfriend Erin King, who I love. She's a speaker, and she had told me that one time, and I'm like, I love that. I'm going to share that. Bless them and block them.
Yep. Works well. I've gotten a lot better at just knowing when to make the cuts, just because after so many failures and the cost of not honoring our boundary, it becomes very obvious like what's at stake. And when you're in service like you are, and what we're building, what we're doing here, it's almost like game on. Like if we don't have these healthy boundaries, it could cost us our game that day, that week. The consequences are great. And I think there's like a higher level of it's love. It doesn't appear in the same way that most people would consider love, but having that boundary is a form of love and a signal to them to say no. And I think that these people don't get told the truth enough, because you wonder how do they even keep going on in that way without reading the room.
Yes. And it can be difficult to have that conversation, but it is life changing to have that conversation. I've had to have that hard conversation with, family members, and it was super hard, but it really helped. And so, yeah. And I think that sometimes people are really genuinely unaware that they can't read the room, or they don't have any kind of social, like, they can't pick up on the social cues that
Hmm.
this is not right. Like, it's
Right.
time to go away. Or I mean, it's
It's
wild to
not
me, but
working well.
Yeah.
this isn't working well. Like,
It's
the
not.
social cue that I tried to say so nicely was, "Hi, I'm going back to my hotel room now to rest, and you're in the elevator following me to my hotel
Oh,
room."
oh
That's
no.
happened.
Oh,
I believe you. I mean, when you're such a bright light, it's like,
it
they can't
attracts
help it,
yeah.
but it does make you wonder, sometimes what's really going on.
I'm just curious, with all that you're doing, when did you know you were on a mission to, like, bring more people who are spreading light together and share that message?
It's just a resonance right now. It's like the world needs that. We need to come together, and collaborate, join forces, share the message, get it out there because people need it. And there's like I say it's a spiritual kind of war going on for battle of the minds and souls and hearts. It's just time for all of us to get in the front lines and shine as bright as we can with honesty, like what you're doing, and amplify those voices so that people have tools, inspiration to find their path through whatever darkness they're going through. And yeah, that'd be the long answer. But that's definitely why we're here, to walk that path of light.
Well, thank you. I just appreciate the work that you do. And yes, I think the world needs it. now more than ever. And you never know. Like, I have to tell you, I just got the most beautiful card yesterday from someone that they had reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'd like to send you something. Can I get your address?" And they sent me a beautiful framed artwork that they had done and the most beautiful card that I saved. I had no idea that they even followed me or they resonated with anything that I was saying. And just from some posts on Instagram, I guess that I had done, they follow me and they got sober and started their photography to share more light with the world. And it's like you just never know who's watching or whose life that you can impact. Whenever I feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't put that out there, or who cares, whether I'm writing a book or even a post, I think about, this isn't about me. This is about the people that I serve. And maybe there's somebody out there that has relapsed and needs a glimmer of hope that it's okay. We all fall. We just get back up. Or maybe there's somebody out there that was diagnosed with CRPS like I was, and the doctors told them that they would be wheelchair bound forever like I was. And they're like, well, hey, Amberly's working out and she's walking. I can do it too. I love the work that you're doing to spread the message of hope and give the world more light, because I do think we need it now more than
Yeah.
ever.
And you are the walking embodiment of a miracle, miracle after miracle after miracle, through the accident, through the healing process, all the surgeries. It breaks my heart, like how much you went through, but at the same time, it's just so triumphant, and inspiring, and just
Mhm.
it's speaks deeply to the soul. And I love your story, and thank you for that.
It's just beautiful too how you carry yourself, and you're
Hmm.
so well integrated as
Yeah.
well.
You know how sometimes you'll find motivational speakers, they're very enthusiastic, and then they're kind of not in real life. You can feel that you are a very integrated person because of the hell you've been through, but then you transformed it into joy, and it just we can feel it. You're completely
Oh,
authentic. Even on your quote unquote bad days and painful days, the light is still so bright in you. So it's very inspiring.
well, thank you so much. Yeah, I've been through a lot physically, well, and a lot, I think in every way, mentally, physically, spiritually. I've had some hard times, and it's my husband and I have learned to laugh at a lot, and
Mm.
he to get us through. And
Yes.
he says to me, "You just won't die. God just keeps spitting you
It's
back
true.
out." And I'm like,
It's
"That's right,
true.
honey." So, and then he also says, "You know what? I think I need to trade you in. Your warranty has expired. Another trip to the hospital or another." But hey,
I
we've
love
been
it.
together, married now 19 years. I think when you go through something hard, it can tear you apart or bring you closer together. And thank goodness it has brought us closer together. I
Yeah.
mean,
I love.
sometimes I want to knock him out. I'm not going
Of
to
course.
lie.
Of course.
But
Yeah, you write beautifully about your marriage in your books. Yeah. Love
thank
hearing
you.
about
Well,
it.
my editor for my first book, True Grit and Grace, he got it and he comes back and he goes, well, this is a love story. And I said, are you kidding me? This is not a love story. This is a story about being hit by an SUV on my motorcycle and the 34 surgeries that it took to save my leg from amputation, that I only had a 1% chance of saving, by the way. And I went on and on. And he goes, no, I said, this is a love story. And I was like, oh, okay. And so many people since then have said, this is such a beautiful story that you of you and your husband. So now I tell my husband that, because he always says, you've got two legs because of me. They were going to amputate
Oh,
your leg, but I told
yeah.
them no, that they needed to wait and let it be your decision. And I said, well, I wrote a book about you. It's a love story about you. So we
I love
constantly,
it.
Love it.
you should hear the conversations we have. It's pretty
A lot of
comical.
fun. That's sweet. Before that accident, when you were T-boned, did you have any like premonition or any signs beforehand? I mean, you had that accident prior to in your Charger, correct? Like
Yeah,
how?
you've got a good memory, but No, looking back, I mean, there have been like days last year when my life was just nonstop with nonstop traveling for speaking at events and the book launch and so many things. I barely remember some days, but this day I remember every detail of so vividly. And that I had finished training clients and I ran 11 miles with my running partner and beat him for the first time, and I was so happy that I beat him. And so I was feeling really good, and it was a beautiful sunny California day, and I remember getting on my motorcycle and I was putting my helmet on, and strapping my helmet. And one of the other trainers, her name's Tina, she goes, "Amberly, just be careful." And I said, "Oh, I will." And she's the last person I talked to before I kind of revved up my engine, got on the bike. And that day, I thought, I'm going to take instead of going right to get home the fastest way, I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a left and go home the longer way just so I get a little more sunshine before I head home, And so it just goes to show in everything how it happened. It's crazy how these little tiny decisions that you make all throughout the day, the weeks, the months, the years that lead you to exactly the place, your destination. And when I got hit, I was only going about 20 miles an hour. And when you're hit on a motorcycle, the speedometer sticks. And that way they can tell when you crash how fast you were going. So I was going about 20 miles an hour, and this SUV shot out of the parking lot. And for everything when I say was just like perfectly aligned. I don't wish anybody to get T-boned by an SUV, but people weren't running over to me. There was so much blood, and my leg was so deformed from being broken, crushed, and my
Yeah.
foot dangling off,
Right.
that there was a lady that fainted at the scene. There were other people that just were staring. They were not getting close, but two people ran over. One was an off duty or nurse off work, and she ran over and she grabbed my hands and she said, "I just need you to breathe with me, kind of like you do in Lamaze." And then there was another guy. I couldn't see him. He was behind me, and he ran over and he ripped off his belt and he made a tourniquet right away around my leg. He saved my life because I had no idea my femoral artery was severed and I was literally bleeding out in the street. And so those two people really helped me and stayed with me. And the paramedics were right down the street. They came running towards me before they even got the call because they heard the accident. It just happened that I was about a 10-minute drive in LA. That's pretty wild that it's that
Mm.
quick from one of the city's top trauma hospitals that I got flown into or drove into. They were going to fly me to another hospital, but they said no, it'd be better to drive her. Anyway, everything just lined up perfectly for them to save my life and then eventually save my leg.
Mm. Incredible.
But no premonitions of today's off or
Okay.
it's going to be a bad
Okay.
day or anything like that.
The amount of pain you've endured, I find that like the brightest souls somehow end up experiencing the most amount of pain, which somehow equates to them being so bright in life, and I think you worded it that your pain's your teacher, worded it in your
Yeah.
book.
Yes. And I think that, when you have experienced pain or if you've experienced heartbreak or been in a really abusive or bad relationship, when you finally find a good partner, it's a gem. They're a gem. It's a blessing. And you treasure that. When you've been in such a dark, low place, for me anyway, it is a gift. And there are days, I'm not going to sit here and tell you every day is just amazing. I mean, there are days I get out of bed and I hurt and I'm limping worse than usual. And my mindset goes in the trash and I start thinking, oh, see, you better, who are you to get up? You can't even walk right. And maybe you should just give up. And you're old. Like the negative self talk is horrible. And I've learned to shift that quickly with gratitude that I get to walk. Yesterday my schedule was just booked solid. I didn't finish with events until 8 o'clock last night. It was just back to back to back. Instead of going, oh, I have so much to do today, I say, I get to do so many things. What a blessing that I get to do these things with other people, like that I am out of a hospital bed, that I am physically able. Because, I've been sick. Last year, I was in the hospital 6 times. I had a medical procedure still for the CRPS that went radically wrong. And so there are those moments, I think, when it's so bad that when life is good, you are so grateful and appreciative for a good day, uh, your ability to walk. And, there are times I don't feel like working out at the gym, but guess what? I get to work out because there were days I wished I could. And I think that, when you've got your health, sometimes, you want so many different things, but when you don't have your health, you want one
Mm.
thing. You just
Mhm.
want to feel better and do better. And so I think I don't take my health for granted. And a good friend of mine told me that, because I was always going, 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 always gritting it out. And then a lot of times crashing and burning, like it was bad. I was end up sick or even worse in the hospital. And so she said, Amberly, I know you love to serve and I know you want to make an impact, but your impact is only as strong as you are healthy. And that hit home. And I was like, wow, I can't help others if I'm not helping myself first.
Right. I love that. Fun fact, I'm actually sober, not necessarily from any exact event, but my husband and I just decided about 4 years ago that it was done. When you start to walk the spiritual path and your calling, you see how much masking there is what from anything, not just alcohol or substances or Netflix or scrolling, but you can tell, like, in order to be what you're mentioning, your best shape, to be in the best service you can into the world. I find that the arc of joy actually goes higher. It feels a little boring at first, and people look at you like, oh, you don't drink. What's wrong? And we chose for health, just to let it go. It wasn't really adding anything. In fact, it was
That's
kind of
amazing.
numbing things.
It numbs everything, though. It
Mm-hmm.
numbs your spiritual connection,
Right.
your heart, your
Exactly.
creativity, your joy, everything. And it it's actually steals your joy. And
It does.
it's pretty crazy because I people think, oh, but it's what allows me to dance freely or be the life of the party. And it's
Mm.
actually the opposite of that.
Yes.
Like, I want
Mm-hmm.
to have a life where I remember everything the
Yes.
night
Yeah.
before, or I wake up and don't have to question, did I make a
Right.
fool of myself last night? Or is
Yes.
this person mad at me? Did I say something? Or because you're right. So, congratulations on that. And I think now more than ever, people, not necessarily that they have an issue with drinking, but they're choosing by
Mm-hmm.
choice because
Yes.
they want to better their life, their mindset, their health. And so they're choosing not to put poison in their bodies.
Right. And I mean, we're very empathic, and it sounds like you are too. When you can feel so much from people in the room and just in social situations. And for me, it's almost like keeping my axe sharp, because the alcohol numbs you to all those signals that you're picking up. And I think when you turn it into a superpower, then overwhelmment, because it is intense to feel everything as an empath. But when you can switch it to, oh, this is like an incredible radar of how to navigate, how to be in service, how to know what's actually happening in the room. And alcohol numbs that out. It like takes away that power.
It sure does. That is such a good way of looking at it. It really does. And I mean, I am just grateful that I got sober and got my life back. I mean, I had so much shame about it because I was never a big partier or drinker. And I specifically discovered alcohol when it was to self medicate because I had
Mm-hmm.
done every kind of treatment to
Oh,
try to help with the pain that's ranked
yeah.
highest on the pain scale,
Yeah.
complex regional pain syndrome. I mean, I had done Eastern Western medicine, 73 homeopathic pills, and 11 prescription medications, different medications a day, spinal blocks, two different spinal cord stimulators, which made me feel like I was being electrocuted from the inside out, ketamine infusions when I'd never done a drug in my life, hardcore narcotics, uh, stem cell. I mean, I was a good candidate for any snake oil salesman out there that said they could get me out of pain. And when
Yeah.
I discovered alcohol, I thought, wow, why didn't the doctors just tell me to knock one back? This kind of helps
Right.
numb the pain and also dull the shame that I had. And so it worked until it didn't. I had so much shame about it because to go from athlete with a successful career to alcoholic and being married to a cop who
Yeah.
arrested people that were
Yeah.
drunks,
I love
and
it.
now his wife is a drunk. You know what I mean? It
Right.
was just, it took so much courage to get help, to reach out and ask for help, but it saved my life. And I think that there's a gift in desperation. And I so desperately wanted to get my life and my health back. And so when I finally got sober, I did, and I found a sponsor. I did everything she told me to do. She said, call me every day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for the first year. I did not miss one day of the first year calling her at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. She said, you go to a meeting every day. I went to a meeting every day. I think she said it's okay if you skip Sunday if you're going to go to church. There's no replacement for the 12-step program. So there were some days I went to 2 meetings a day. She said, you work on your steps, and went and took me through that. I did. And I realized very quickly there's no graduation from recovery. It's a constant healing. It's just like healing. I don't think that, oh, you're healed from this thing or that thing.
Yeah.
It's like there's constantly, new triggers, new things that
Mm-hmm.
come up. It's kind
Mm-hmm.
of like an onion. You peel one layer
Yeah.
and then the other layer and the other layer. You're
Yeah.
like,
Totally.
dang it, I thought I healed that. And now I
There's
gotta,
another one.
Yeah. It peeks its head back up. Yeah.
yeah, why'd
Yeah.
I get triggered about that again? Let me take a look at that. But it gets easier.
Yeah, I mean, just the example that you shine for the world, like even someone that is struggling with alcohol or any kind of substance or just healing, how to manage pain, whatever form that is, you've actually been through it. It's almost like God walked you through all that. To walk the talk, you have to go through it as a healer. I mean, you are a healer. I don't know if you call yourself that, but your life is the embodiment of a healer, and we
Oh,
have to
wow.
go through the dark night of the souls over and over, and then we can shine that back into the world.
Wow, I've never been called that. But I can definitely relate to when people come to me and with all different kinds of things, whether they've been a single mom. I'm like, yep, I was a single mom for
Yeah.
10 years. Whether they were in a narcissistic or abusive
Hmm.
marriage. Yep,
Yep.
I was in that. Whether they've been sexually abused. Yep, I can talk to you
Yeah.
about that. And I think it helps when you can talk to somebody who can relate. I know for me anyway, I want to learn from somebody who's actually been through something and they've gotten
Mm-hmm.
on the other side of it. And I feel like if we, heal, we grow, we heal, we grow, and then we go help others.
With all the stages that you've spoken on and the corporations that you've keynoted with, it sounds like it was quite the adventurous life. What's next on your bucket list? Like, what would be, or who is someone that you're just, oh, I want to work with, or that's my dream?
Oh man, you know what, the thing that's lighting me up, and this year I really did take a pause to go, what is lighting me up and what am I excited about and what brings me joy, and actually pause for a minute and go, well, what do I want to do? Like,
Mm.
Mm.
I think it's important. What lights me up? What do I want to do? And my team was like, that's crazy. You're closing the door to that. That's crazy. You're not going to be doing that 3-month coaching program anymore. Oh, that's crazy. You're not going to be doing your annual event next year. I'm like, no, 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 I'm keeping it simple. And what is lighting me up is I love gathering people. I think that connection is the key to success in every area of your life. There's been people in my mastermind that didn't get in the mastermind to lose weight, but one lady was in it for over 2 years and she lost 200 pounds altogether, not 200 in the mastermind. I think she lost about 150 in the mastermind. Not because I
Wow.
talk about weight loss in the mastermind, it's
The connection.
because the people that are there take care of themselves mentally, physically, spiritually, and you are going to become like the people that you surround yourself with. And so I am mostly lit up right now with doing these retreats that I'm doing. And right now I'm only doing twice a year. And I love
Wow.
bringing people together.
And you take them to Kauaʻi?
I
Is that
did
true?
go where
You know,
are
we live
you?
there.
Yeah.
We're in Virginia right now, but she's born
Born and
and raised
raised.
Kauaʻi, and I
Yeah.
was there for 13 years. Live there,
Wow.
yeah. It's so magical.
It
You know.
is. That's where
Yeah.
we went for our honeymoon. And
Oh,
then
sweet.
I did a retreat last
Oh,
year in Kauai. It's
yeah.
beautiful there.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
very healing there.
I
Mhm.
went there to heal. I lived in LA and moved there in 2006 and just fell apart. Fell apart a lot of times and then somehow put it back together. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's interesting you say that because years ago, I'm talking, oh gosh, this is in another lifetime ago. This is over 20 years ago. This is when I was in the fitness industry and I had a tennis team in LA hire me to go. They were doing this big tournament in Hawaii, and I think this one was in Maui. Anyway, I get there, I fly in, and it was my job. I thought I was just going there to stretch them, train them, do their meal planning for them. Like I was there just to take care of them that way. And I'm there and I get there, I fly, I go straight from the airport straight to the courts, and I'm standing there. I have a suitcase beside me, and this person walks up and they said, uh, you're here for a reason. And I said, oh yeah, this is the team I'm coaching and training. And she said, no, you're here to heal. And I was like, okay, well, I did heal. I went back and I broke up with a guy that I was seeing. That was
Wow.
totally
That'll do
Yeah.
it.
codependent relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very healing there for sure.
It is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
But
feel
yes,
like
this
I
next
grew up.
retreat's in Jacksonville. It's not quite as gorgeous as Kauai, but Jacksonville's still beautiful. And so I'm most excited about that. And of course, getting to speak at a lot of really cool events that are coming up in some of my favorite places. I always love when I get to speak at an event in LA because I like to see all my friends and a
Aw.
bunch of my favorite sober sisters there too. So yeah, so I think that's what I'm most excited about.
And throughout everything you've been through so much. What do you think is a common theme and maybe what God was trying to tell you through all of this?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind is something I always say, fully rely on God. I am very stubborn. I get in my own way. I can be my own worst enemy. And I think he has to do things to remind me to get out of my way and fully rely on God. And, it was back when I was back in the hospital. I was really sick, and I told my mom. I said, "Yeah, She said, "Well, maybe God's trying to tell you something." And I said, "Well, I wish God would just write me a little love note or something." And she said, "Well, He knows you wouldn't listen to it or read it." And I was like, okay, you're probably right. So I've gotten better. And I now have also reminders all over my office, all over the place to remind me to fully rely on God. And I say that a lot, so much so that my daughter made me this little ceramic frog to remind me fully rely on God. So now every time I see a frog, it reminds me. And now people are starting to send me frogs.
Oh.
So I have these little cute frogs all over the place. And there will be times where I think that you see God winks. And there will be times, I remember one time I was about to go speak on stage and I was praying and asking God, please walk in there with me. I was actually nervous and I needed to be reminded this isn't about me. This is about the people that I serve. And I'm waiting for the elevator and I look up and there is this little tiny plastic frog on top of the elevator on the very top ledge. And I just smiled and I thought, okay, that's a good one. You got me. I got your message.
Great.
Fully rely on you.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, wink,
Sweet.
wink. But things like that happen all the time. And I feel like this is, I just want to be obedient to what God has called on my life and bring people closer to love and light and hope and positivity and Him. And so I think with everything that I go through, the first thing I always think of is what do I need to learn from this? What's the message I need to take away and what can I do next? What's next?
Thank you so much for coming on to the Lights On podcast and sharing more of your story and being one of the most beautiful examples of grace and being a warrior of light and truth. And I almost would classify you, and I mean this in the most complimentary way, like a Navy SEAL in a bodacious body. You have like the spirit of like just it's insane what you're capable of in the most
Oh,
beautiful way. You just have that wiring that's very unique, very unique.
well, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much. I am going to make sure you made my day. I am going to make
Oh,
sure to tell my husband that, to have him listen to this interview because he was in the Navy and he's this
wow.
big, strong, tough guy. And in
Yeah.
fact, the first time we ever dated, he knew that I did Krav Maga. I've got a belt in Krav Maga and I did Muay
Right.
Thai. And
Wow.
Yeah.
and anyway, he goes, okay, Miss Krav Maga girl, get out of this hold. And he pins me
And you're
down.
Texan too.
What?
And you're Texan too.
And yes,
Yeah.
and I'm Texan. He does not want me to go Texas on him. And I sent him flying across the room. It was only because I knew how to get out of that position from Krav. And his eyes got real big. And he goes, okay. So he didn't ever do that to me again.
Love it.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure he hears this interview.
Yes. Oh, it's a pleasure, Amberly. We'd love to, when we expand out into in person, we'd love to have you back
Yeah. For
and
sure.
invite you to
I
our podcast
would
again.
love it. Any chance to get to hang out and be in your amazing energy and just hug you would be amazing. So count me in. I would love
Yes.
that.
Look
Thank
forward
you.
to it.
Look forward to it. Yeah.
Thank
And
you. Thank y'all so
thank you.
much.
Thank you. 3, 2, 1.
Stay lit.